And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drew and welcome to episode 5 of my modern day WWE save on TEW 2020. Obviously this is my second episode of my second show of my Smackdown era. Obviously last week we had a big number one contendership match that obviously, spoiler if you ever wants to buy, well obviously if you want to watch that, that'll be on the link top there somewhere, I'll put it there. Obviously a spoiler, if you haven't watched already, Cesaro is your new number one contender, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. We had with so we've got a big show planned. We had obviously we're gonna have a big tag team match for Cesaro teaming up with Drew McIntyre going against the Usos. We've got another number one contendership match, another WWE Smackdown Tag Team Championship match with the New Day going against Cesaro and Rich Holland. And so obviously we've got one or two more qualifiers. We've got Sami Zayn going against Drew Gulak for that qualifying match. We have a big women's match with Naomi going against Shayna Baszler, and much more. So it's going to be a good show. So last week we got 51. Hopefully we get a better score this week. So hopefully. But if you enjoy the save, again, I've been getting some really good comments, people saying they're really enjoying this. That's really awesome. So if you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe, leave a comment. It's been a very successful start so far, so let's keep the momentum going because I'm really looking forward. I really enjoy doing this. So so let's get stuck straight into this one. So let's go and talk about this week's WWE Smackdown show. Let's go into it. Let's go. So we start off with Cesaro. Obviously he got the big win in the Fatal 4-Way number one contendership match last week, and obviously now he's as we've heard in previous weeks, the guy's wants to hit his potential. This point out this segment got a 54. That's obviously pretty good for what we want. Obviously, was it 54? Cesaro off script. I have to remember that. It's kind of Cesaro in this kind of segment is kind of talking about the high of obviously winning last week, and kind of talking about his determination to kind of make SmackDown this show again. So kind of like type of stuff he's kind of saying how over the last 2 years I've seen this show become decadent, and it's become this cesspool of nothingness. Nothing's happening in the show except for one man, that is the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. If it doesn't go through him, nothing happens on the show. Kind of talking about SmackDown used to be this pinnacle of excellence from the likes of people like of professional wrestling, from people like Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Rey Mysterio, that kind of show. This used to be a place where people that love pro wrestling watches it. I said now it's become decadent with one man, and it's become his own personal playpen. I've said that kind of stuff, and then kind of and no one wants to stand up to him. I'm gonna stand up for him, and I'm gonna put him down. And at the Royal Rumble, that title is going to be mine, and I'm going to make this show great again. Cesaro, tough talk here. Obviously, Roman comes out, coming to the ramp very slowly, very pissed at what he said, because obviously he doesn't like people talking back to him type situation. Then obviously, but one thing you notice, the Usos are not beside him, so everyone's kind of asking him, where's the Usos? And then out of nowhere, attacks him from behind. We get a 3-on-1 beatdown, obviously 2-on-1 at a time. Roman slowly walks to the ring. Obviously he's happy that his plans worked. Then obviously a 3-on-1 beatdown, and then surprised by no one, to some people, Drew comes down for the save. Obviously comes as to save. Obviously Usos and Roman Reigns get out of there. Obviously Drew's there, and so I was like kind of surprised, but kind of was it the old saying, surprised to be sure, but a welcome one. So obviously that kind of sets up kind of what I'm trying to set up for the main event. Obviously it's kind of it's been announced after that segment we're going to have a main event. We're going to have Cesaro teaming up with Drew McIntyre going against the Usos in our tag team main event. So awesome stuff there. 54 good stuff. I'm happy with it. But the first match on the card the first match on the show is going to be another one of those, as we started last week, the New Day are going to be with another Smackdown Tag Team Championship Open Challenge. Obviously, we set up last week, they had against an Angel and Mustafa Ali. Obviously, they got the victory there. Obviously, this time, the person that answered the call is Sheamus and Rich Holland. Obviously, the question is, are we going to have new tag team champions? Or are the New Day going to get another victory and still be tag team champions going into the next week at least? And the answer to the question is, they are still tag team champions. With nothing crazy here. I've put in the match finish. It's basically like a good match. Usos win with their it's a diving stomp backbreaker combo. I'm up for that. Obviously, story coming out of this is that Sheamus has suffered a suspected dislocated hip. That might be a problem. We'll look into that. Obviously, I'll look into that later on. But obviously, the biggest score of this match is obviously Kofi Kingston 49. Low scores Rich Holland. No surprise there. All good here. All good. I'm pretty happy with this. As a match, because obviously I want tag team champions to mean something a little bit more than just because that's why I took them off the Usos and put them on New Day, so it's more about the division instead of just being a part of the bloodline. So obviously after that, the match was good, but after that we obviously we're talking about the Usos. The Usos and Angel and Mustafa Ali come down to the ring, start to attack the New Day and kind of set up something interesting afterwards. Obviously that. Yes, that's very true. Thank you so much. I know he's got dislocated. Thank you, Parks. He's always happy for 37. That's fine. Obviously, I think it's because of people like Angel Garza and Mustafa Ali, not the high score on this database. So 37, that's fine. But the kind of what I'm kind of set up here is I forgot to put. I just point out I forgot to put the Raw Raiders are done here, but that's fine. I don't think it would have made any difference anyway. But obviously this has come down. Obviously the Usos come down. Angel Garza and Mustafa Ali come down. They attack. The New Day like a pair of jackals. I've put here. And then obviously the Raw Raiders. Obviously I forgot to put, but Raw Raiders come in, go for the save, and then it's kind of like two teams outside the ring, two teams inside the ring. The New Day pick up the mic and kind of say. Get on the mic saying, I'm loving all these tag teams going after us. Little old us, Just shows how great the tag team division here is and our mission to make the tag team division one of the best in WWE. So, you all want to challenge for our titles? Okay. We have a bit of sway here because we're the champs. So what we say is, you all want to face us for the titles? Okay. What about next week? All of you, the War Raiders. Angel Garza and Mustafa Ali, the Usos, go triple threat match. And the winner faces us next for the tag team championships. But the question is who. Set up there. That's what it is. So we're going to set up a tag team match, a triple threat next week, and the winner faces New Day at either Royal Rumble or the week after. I'm not quite sure yet. Obviously in the go home show of to Royal Rumble, so it should be good. So 37, I'm not expecting much from that. But it's going to be interesting. So, obviously, after that, we have... we had repercussions for what Brock did in the main event last week. Obviously, he attacked officials, F5'd officials. That's a big no-no. So, obviously, Paul Heyman is kind of called by Adam Pearce to get... there's going to be some repercussions for what Brock did last week. So that's going to get a 49, probably because Paul Heyman's in it. It's no surprise. Paul Heyman just makes anything he's in look great. It's kind of simple here. I've got to figure out a way to get... I obviously can't have Brock on television every week. Would love to, but it's just not going to happen. So this is kind of a setup. Again, it's very similar to what they did anyway, but I think it does work if you want Brock to be off screen, but in a storyline thing, instead of him just being off screen. Obviously, he's got Paul Heyman walks in, talking to Adam Pearce, who isn't happy with what Brock did last week. Paul Heyman trying to wheeze his way out, saying, well, he was stressed, he was upset. He promises that the Beast will not do it again. And obviously, Adam Pearce saying, you do know what, you put me in a difficult position, right? You can't, if I let this slide, it gives credence to everybody else to attack with officials and not get punished. So with Brock, obviously Brock's not here, so obviously if Brock was there, do you really think Adam Pearce would really do that? Obviously we saw it in real life where we did suspend him and it did not end well when Brock actually came back. But yeah, so obviously Adam Pearce is kind of going like, okay, Brock suspended for 2 months. He's fined £100,000. Paul Heyman's kind of like, not happy because of the suspension, but he's unhappy because he's got to go and tell Brock this. And then we leave the kind of segment where Brock's, Paul Heyman's on the phone, like kind of shaking, phoning Brock, and him trying to calm Brock down through like what you can hear on the phone. And we kind of cut to cut the segment there. So yeah, 49, I'm happy with that. But yeah, Brock's not going to be happy with this, and NP's kind of been put under pressure from the IHAPs, laying down the law a little bit. So obviously after this, we hear from the boss, Sasha Banks, talking about her plans for the Women's Royal Rumble that she will be a part of. Announcement here that she will be a part of the Women's Royal Rumble. Obviously we get that for a 39. Ouch. This is just going to be, sadly, what the women's division is going to be like, sadly. If this doesn't involve Charlotte or anybody else, the division, I've got a lot of work to do here. A lot of work. Again, I might have picked Bruce Pritchard as the doing the road angle, not the best, and obviously struggled to badly because other people weren't following the script. Okay, we'll work on that, but I thought I put it on script, but maybe I've got to put both on script. Again, work in progress. But anyway, obviously this starts off with Sasha Banks talking about how last year she went to WrestleMania as the Women's Smackdown Women's Championship. And then it all came crashing down after a defeat at WrestleMania. But this year, the start of 2022, this year is going to be the greatest year for the boss. Obviously, great things happened last year as well as that. I was in, my acting career flourished. I'm more known and popular as ever. But it's one thing I still want, is I want that Smackdown Women's Championship back around my waist. So this year I'm going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to take back my title. And people will go back years in the future and sit there and say this year was the best year ever by Sasha Banks, the boss. And then obviously after this, you've got Shayna Baszler comes in, kind of says, kind of just like kind of scoffs at this idea, like, oh right, so another opportunity for someone like Sasha Banks. There's always been on top. You've always been on top, Sasha. It's time for someone like me that's been passed up time and time and time again. And they haven't even seen the inkling of the potential I have. So, if anyone's going to win the Royal Rumble, it's me. And then obviously have a nice little stare down. That could set up something later on. We hope so. But 39, the sad truth is, if anything's not like that very harsh score when we got, was it 15-16 last week, then I'm happy. So 39, pretty good. Let's go on to the next thing. Obviously after this we hear from the conspiracy nut himself, Sami Zayn, talking about how disappointed and upset he is that he's being overlooked. Obviously he was defeated last week in the triple threat 4-way. Basically it's another Sami Zayn complaining segment for 53 that's kind of struggles to go off script, that's very not true, so this game's a bit harsh in that sense. But also you've got Sami Zayn just coming out before his Royal Rumble qualifier match, talking about how WWE trying everything they can for Sami Zayn to stay away from the Universe title scene, and as possible he's put and because he's so conspiracy nut, he's completely crazy. I like the idea of him going, oh, but I don't believe, like, they put me in this qualifier match not because of like they truly believe in me, they do it because I want to be in a tag. They want to show that they're not conspiring against me, but I know their plan. I know what they're doing. So the guy's mind's twisted. Then obviously Nakamura comes out, kind of says, "No one's lying to you, Sammy. No one's lying to you. People just want you to shut the hell up." And people don't like you, not getting opportunities, because people just don't like you because you suck. And obviously Sami Zayn isn't happy and then kind of attacks. There's a back and forth attack from that. Obviously then refs come out and then split it up. And yeah, so obviously this kind of sets up, obviously he's got a match, a Royal Rumble qualifier match. Him versus Drew Gulak. Winner is going to be book his place in the Royal Rumble. So the question is Sami going to win and beat the odds, any conspirators against him? Or would Drew get a shock win? Drew Gulak get a shock win and book his place in the Royal Rumble? And the answer to that question is, for 48, surprisingly, yes, Drew Gulak get a surprise win with a roll-up. Obviously, it says here he got a, the Crime Room Crush? I don't know what that is. That's really cool. It's a cool finisher. It sounds like a cool finisher, but But yeah, 48. Was it 48 by Sammy, 32 by Drew Gulak? But yeah, so obviously this match is kind of, as I said, a good match. Probably should have put the Drew Nakamura was obviously at commentary at this point, kind of talking about it. But yeah, it's but what this match goes against Sami Zayn's focus too much. Nakamura saying, yeah, this is showing him like, yeah, this is, I'm good, like, you know, this is, I'm better than you type situation. But because of his cockiness and over focusing on the wrong person, obviously it sets up he tries to go for a haluba kick, misses, a nice roll up, a quick roll up by Gulak, gets a 1-2-3, gets out of here, he gets the win, and he is going to the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn is irate, kind of shouting at the ref. You know what it's like. Yes, so we get a shock. Drew Gulak is going to the Royal Rumble. So obviously after that, we obviously talking about someone that could win championship by winning the Royal Rumble. Now we hear from the WWE Smackdown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair talking to Shayna Baszler with a proposal. Obviously we'll find out what that is. With a 40, that's good. Charlotte's trying to go off script. Again, isn't true because we know she's good on promos. But yes, obviously Charlotte's kind of talking to Shayna Baszler. Kind of said she saw what she said. She's impressed. She's right. You have been overlooked and kind of underappreciated, and kind of trying to show people. And I think I want to give you an opportunity to show people truly what kind of woman you really are. And obviously give a proposal trying to take out Naomi. Obviously trying to get any advantage Charlotte Flair can get in her title match against Naomi next week. So she's getting Shayna Baszler. It's kind of a female wrestler that kind of is a person you want if you want to break limbs or break bones. And she definitely is that. And obviously Charlotte Flair is saying, yeah, can you do this for me? And Shayna Baszler like, you know what, you're right. I need to show people what I am. But this offer isn't for free. If I do this for you, you have got to do something for me. And obviously, then we kind of walk off camera. We don't know what that is. Nothing's teased. What could that mean? Could we find out tonight? Could we find out soon? All I'm saying is, if you want a favour, nothing in life is free. So, Shayna Baszler, interesting to see what she comes out with. But obviously, after that, she's on the rise. But someone is having a very bad time, and that is maybe not Happy Corbin, but maybe Sad Corbin's back for a 50 here. Obviously, we've got Happy Corbin or Corbin on the phone to someone. It's not a very good conversation. It sounds like a person's trying to get his money. He's trying to blag his way out of it. And yeah, it's not going well. He gets off the phone, he's panicking, he's lost money. Ever since Royal Rumble, things haven't gone according to plan. But then Sami Zayn comes into the room. He comes in and kind of gives him a lifeline, because obviously he overhears. And he knows he's got a match against Nakamura next. Later tonight? So he goes to Happy Corbin. He gives him an idea. He goes, I hear you got money troubles. I've got a Nakamura problem. So what about you do me a favour? What about if you can beat Nakamura, try and take him out tonight. I will pay your debts. And obviously we got Sami Zayn kind of had an envelope of money, because probably, let's be honest, Sami Zayn's probably got a lot of money from that documentary that we never saw. Probably got a lot of screen view money, and obviously screening money for that one. So let's pretend he's got a bit of cash. He is. So that's sets up, and obviously Happy Corbin would take anything at this point, anything to raise it. He's happy to do so, thinking all these problems are solved. And then we kind of he runs off, kind of getting ready for that match later on, with Sami Zayn kind of like got an evil kind of smile and laugh going, like he's got a grand plan kind of situation. So after that we have possibly a new tag team emerging, or from we're talking about Sami Zayn. The person that beat him is trying to set up a new tag team with a Ricochet for 40. This is kind of a one that I want them to be together. Think about an idea of Drew Gulak being the kind of ground and pound, Ricochet being a high flyer. Put them together, you've got a very unique, dynamic tag team. But but the way this is set up is obviously Drew. Ricochet's being being interviewed. Kind of everyone's like, he's kind of disappointed that he's been not being used, and he knows if he put him in a match that he would steal the show. He would. But then obviously Drew Gulak coming off the high of the big win he got against Sami Zayn. He's going to the Royal Rumble. And he looks at Ricochet like he's walking past and he's like, don't worry. Maybe you can be like me. Maybe you just need one opportunity. You can have the winning streak like I have. Obviously, he's still a face, but I like the idea he's got one win. He's got a little bit over his head, and he's like, I'm on a winning streak, but he's only won one match. It's not a heel, but it's kind of like a cocky face, like. But then, like Wigan says, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. But he's like saying, maybe if we team up, we can. My success can rub off on you, and you can finally get the opportunity you deserve. And obviously, Drew Gulak's kind of think about it, and then Ricochet's looking at the option, going, really thinking about it. I could have just put them together, but I always like stories when tag teams have reasons to be together. So, and also just makes it more worthwhile than just putting them together for the sake of, well, we need two guys to put together. So, but 40, that's good, really good actually. I've tried that, get like 39 or something, call that in the yellows, but yeah, 40, that's pretty good. So, obviously after that, we hear from the number one contender to face Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, talking about her opponent Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair's grand plan to try and take her out, and she's got a lot to say about it. For a 45, that's very good. What was obviously good there was it mastery job for improvising reactions. That's really good. I mean, I like Naomi as like a performer, so that's good for her. 45, I'm happy with that. And then we just kind of Naomi kind of talking about how she's taking the coward's way out, Charlotte Flair. She attacks you from behind last week. She puts me in matches to try and make sure I lose. Sending people after me to try and take me out. Sounds like she's scared. That I'm going to take that women's title for her next week. Because there's all the talk and all the bluster from Charlotte Flair. She's just a scared little kid, desperate to keep hold to that title. And I'm going to win that title next week. And I have it around my waist. I'm going to make this division glow. So, yeah, tough talk by Naomi. The question is whether the match between her and Shayna Baszler is next. So the question is, will Charlotte Flair plan for Shayna Baszler to take out Naomi work? Or will Naomi divide the orange yet again and get a victory? And so, obviously, we get to the match to find out now. So to answer that question the winner is Naomi for 34. Really off her game, 28 by Naomi, 34 by Shayna Baszler. But when you've got for a match from going from 16 to 34, it's a very, very, very good improvement. But it's not. I'm not expecting crazy here, but again, I've got a lot of work to do in the SmackDown Women's divisions, and I'm relishing the challenge. But yeah, nothing good here. I kind of like the idea that Shayna Baszler's kind of working on Naomi's arm. But kind of make the mistake. But I like the idea that Shayna Baszler makes a mistake because she's getting too cocky because she thinks she's on it's a matter of time before she wins. Then obviously she hits Naomi hits her. Was it the back a submission? Like Naomi submitting Shayna Baszler's not a thing I would do. So I like the idea of Naomi hitting her. Was it? I think it's with you or a finishing move just out of nowhere. So it's like a little mistake. Boom, takes her out. And yeah, she gets the win, but obviously Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler are not going to be happy with this, and obviously attack her from behind after the match for a 40. Pretty happy with that. It's pretty simple here. Obviously Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler come into the ring, beat down Naomi, a 2-on-1 attack, but this plan didn't work because then Sasha Banks' music hits, crowd goes wild, and kind of here to save her friend. Obviously, we set up earlier that obviously there's a bit of beef between Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair. Shayna Baszler and Sasha Banks. And obviously we set up a possible tag team match for next week. That is kind of announced just afterwards here, so that's a good thing. So yeah, so Sasha Banks saving her friend, and sets up an interesting feud. So we've got Charlotte. So I gotta be honest, the idea that we could have Charlotte, Shayna Baszler, Naomi, and Sasha Banks all in a kind of program, it's very interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next because of that. Obviously, after that, we hear from the WWE Intercontinental Champion talking about his opponent, Happy Corbin, and Sami Zayn again with his plans to try and take him out for a 51. Very happy again. Did not work well following the script. I have to remember that. But we've got Nakamura talking about how with Sami Zayn getting Happy Corbin to fight his battles for him. Again, similar to what Naomi said, very cowardly move. And to show that Nakamura and kind of faces aren't completely horrible, they do sympathise with Happy Corbin's situation, but saying that's not going to change. Nakamura's not going to change what it means he has to do to him tonight, because he wants to win the Royal Rumble and he needs momentum, so he needs to keep that winning streak alive. So he's going to beat Corbin, and then Sami Zayn, you're next. So sets up a pretty interesting match. Obviously, the next match is Shinsuke Nakamura going against Happy Corbin, and the winner of that match is, surprise to no one, Nakamura gets a win with a Kinshasa. I can never pronounce that name. Terrible with that, but hits his finisher for the win. Obviously, this was because of due to a botch interference by Sami Zayn. I think I put the botch interference wrong, but it's fine. I'm trying to figure this game out every time I do it, so it's a mistake after mistake, but it's fine. But it's kind of a situation where Sami Zayn trying to get involved to botch interference. Obviously, it's maybe accidentally hits Happy Corbin, turns around, boom, hits his Kinshasa, gets the win, and so looks like Happy Corbin's not getting that money, or is he? So obviously after that, Sami Zayn does get a ability to attack Nakamura from behind for a 49. Very good there. Attacks him from behind. Obviously goes for a haluba kick. Hits him with a haluba kick, and then kind of obviously Nakamura's got Intercontinental title, holds it up high, and kind of says, "This is going to be mine. You took everything from me," or kind of a situation, maybe not like you don't disrespect me, so if you disrespect me, I take what keeps you going, and that is your Intercontinental Championship. So he kind of takes it. So and then kind of because Happy Corbin, like the idea was to help him take out, not actually to win the match. So technically Happy Corbin has done his duty. So Sami Zayn gives him the money, so he's got money, his debts are paid. But could that be the end of the story? Could we get back to the old Corbin? Or maybe. We don't know. We'll find out soon enough. But it's obviously Sami Zayn he takes the Intercontinental and walks out. That's not his title. He's not his. So that could set up an interesting match next week if it happens. But yeah, feud is an interesting feud between Sami Zayn and Nakamura. So I'm intrigued to see what. It'll be interesting to see how it goes in the game. But I hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be a very interesting feud. So obviously after that, we hear from the Tribal Chief, our Universal Champion, and the Usos talking about their match and kind of their plans for the match and what they need to do in the future. So obviously that one gets a 53, no surprise where it all works well. Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, is just the hottest thing in town at the moment in real life and in this game. Obviously Roman's the better star. But I like the idea that Roman Reigns just kind of talk about how the match tonight is kind of a mission statement to anyone that dare challenges the Bloodline. And obviously kind of a rallying cry to kind of Usos to kind of get the job done next week, saying that he's still disappointed with them, and he knows he needs them to win those titles back. So obviously it sets up the big triple threat next week, and it also sets up an interesting thing of what are they going to do. Have they got plans for the Drew and Cesaro tonight? Obviously talking about Cesaro and Drew McIntyre, obviously we hear from them before the main event, talking about for 49, very happy with that, talking about how the reason kind of they're asking Drew the question as well as Cesaro, like, Drew, why did you come down to save? You had nothing to do with this situation. And obviously Drew's like kind of what Cesaro said at the start of the show really inspired me. It's very true that we need to start taking down Roman Reigns, and he's always got the numbers game, so I have your back, Cesaro. And I kind of like the idea Cesaro was really impressed, and I kind of like the idea that Cesaro has been, he's not a very good talker, so why not put him in a situation where he's more of a guy that's he's not a very good talker because he's very selective what he says, but when he does speak, it has weight, has volume. That I think could work, because obviously the guy's speaks multiple languages, so the guy's a very intelligent guy, so why not use that a little bit? Make it be like he's great in the ring, and also he's a very intelligent man. So sets that up that, and obviously he's going to help Cesaro, and it's going to start tonight of making the show great again. And it's going to start with Roman Reigns' goons, the Usos, And yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. So we're there. We're in the main event. So we have it. It's the main event. It's Cesaro, team with Drew McIntyre, going against the Usos. Who's going to win? Is Cesaro going to keep his momentum? With Drew McIntyre's help, or the Usos going to help maybe beat down and help Roman Reigns and the rest of SmackDown find out who really truly runs this show. So we'll find out for that, and the winner of this match is Cesaro and Drew McIntyre get the win against the Usos for a 52. Pretty happy with that. Obviously, Drew's the highest performer in 56. The lowest performer is ironically Cesaro, but it's very close between the Usos, 54, 55. So it's not at the end of the world. But I'm liking this. It's very good stuff here. Obviously, the way the match ends with a kind of situation where was it Cesaro hits a neutralizer on Jay, and obviously Drew hits a Claymore kick on Jimmy. Both at the same time, get a double pin, get the win. But obviously after this, it's all about the ending. It's always about the ending. Obviously, Roman Reigns comes to the ring. Obviously, he's at commentary. I say he's at commentary talking about this, and he comes to the ring, and obviously it's like a bit of brawl, in the ring, and obviously, but he comes to the ring, and obviously this doesn't work, and Cesaro and Drew get the upper hand, and obviously they're two in the ring. What I like here, obviously we set up and then go next for a 46. That's fine for what we're going for, but yeah, I like the idea of Drew, obviously because of the beatdown. Obviously Drew in the bloodline Roman Reigns get out of there, so he leaves his title there. I like the idea that obviously, yeah, they're partners, but they've still got the same goal. They want to be Universal Champion. So I like the idea that they leave the title, they both look at it, and kind of like set up a kind of feud that might happen in the future, we don't know. Of like, yeah, we're teaming tonight, and I have you back, but we both want the same thing. And it's kind of like Roman's like looks a bit wide, going, oh no, this like he's worried, like, oh my god, this can't be good. So yeah, and I could say, and kind of I like the commentary going, could this be the title match at WrestleMania? Drew versus Cesaro. It might be, it might not. Obviously we'll find out in 2 weeks. But yeah, so 46 ends the show pretty hot. So the question is, we got a 51 last week. So the question is, are we going to get similar score or worse score? Or are we going to get the best score of the entire save? So we'll find out. So let's find out. So the show gets a 46. Disappointing. But okay, I probably score went down because obviously I used the Usos a bit too much. I admit they're in kind of two storylines at the moment, but it's a bit disappointing. But it's fine. It probably would have got a better score because obviously you only got 34 down there really. A couple of 39s, but yeah, it's a pretty solid show, I would say. I think the game's a bit harsh, but I did use Usos a little too much. But that's a work in progress. Got to learn about this stuff, so I got to remember how to sort that out in the future. But yeah, I mean, it sets up. I like that the women's division match is done better this week. Got the ratings they can't deserve, like 34. It's not going to be great, but it's a couple of weeks in. Hopefully by the next month or so, they will get in the 40s and 46s as you would expect. I think the best match of the entire show, I think, was the main event, but I think it was obviously Gulak and Sami Zayn did a good 148. I think obviously who else have we got? We've got, I think, the Nakamura match against Corbin got a 50, so that done well too. All the matches kind of delivered what I wanted them for. Quick matches, enhanced storyline, but I disagree with what they're saying there. Not enough interest storylines. I disagree. The hottest feud right now is the Roman Reigns versus Cesaro match. That I'm intrigued to see how I'm going to book that. Because obviously I haven't decided yet what the finish is going to be. So I'll be interested to see where that goes. But yeah, 46. It's not great, but again, it's only like 4 points off. But I think that's because of the Usos being used too much. So I've got to remember that for future reference. So yeah, so obviously interesting to see what happens in the Go Home show next week. Yeah, so 47. I think that's it's fine. Obviously, it's a bit low from last week. I think it's because again I've got used to not overusing people, but I have used the Usos, overused them because they're obviously in the Roman storyline, but also kind of in the Smackdown number contendership thing as well with that New Day. So we're in two kind of stories. So it's kind of my own fault for using it, but we'll figure it out next week. It's a work in progress, but yeah, some interesting stuff. I've got Cesaro, from what I've seen. The Roman Cesaro is the hottest feud in the States so far, so that's really good. So because it would be in real life, wouldn't it? It would be, but yeah, so obviously that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. At some point, I'm going to be getting shows that are getting 60s, 70s, but this is like what my second week on this. So it's gone down. That's disappointing, but that's more for my ability on the game, less about the booking and all that stuff in the sense. So but yeah, so good stuff there. Obviously we've got cool stuff set up next week. We're gonna have at some point we're gonna have a triple threat number one contendership match for determine who's gonna face the New Day for those Smackdown Tag Team Championships. We're gonna have a WWE Smackdown Women's Championship match with Charlotte going against Naomi. Yes, obviously this is because of a booking change. Because I had to to get the day one in, I had to cancel the first Raw and SmackDown. So it's a 3-week build up, not a 4. It normally would be a 4, but this one I had to realised it halfway through the game and then had to change it. So this next week's going to be the go home show for SmackDown going into Royal Rumble. Can't wait for that. Hope you enjoy that. Obviously, if all goes to plan, this will be next episode of SmackDown will be on Friday. Hopefully, my next Raw episode will be on. Raw Expert will be on Monday at 4:30. Hope you enjoy. Obviously, we've got a couple of big matches planned for that Raw. So hope you. So definitely check, like and subscribe to, and put the notification bell so you don't miss anything of that for that show, as well as many other things I've got plans for this SmackDown and Raw. So, but yes, hope you enjoy. Enjoy the rest of enjoy your weekend, and yeah, I'll be back on Monday. So hope you have an awesome enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time. See you later, everyone. Bye.